around in my private life. It's all good, man. It's all good.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Friday, May 3rd. And on Fridays, we look at Yahoo specifically. I am joined today by Jake. Last week was a solo show. You've had EMAC here, but I think the combination of me and Jake is here to stay. So we're going to break down Yahoo. We're going to go position by position, check out all the pitching options, check out all the hitting options, dig into a couple crunches in the end, and see if we can put ourselves in a position to succeed. Does that work for you, man?
Yeah, it works for me. I'm looking forward to it. I've been playing a little bit more on Yahoo this week to try to get prepared, and I feel like I got the hang of it. So yeah, I'm excited to talk some strategy Yahoo specific.
So I just dropped the link in the channel right now. If you're looking to sign up at Yahoo, it would be very beneficial to us if you would use that link. Won't affect your experience at all. You can use the promo code AWESOMO when signing up and get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports Rewards points. But if you sign up through the link, it lets Yahoo know that you're coming from us and you're trying to support us. And that's really, really helpful. Also, hit the like button if you can. Also very helpful and helps us grow. And subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications when we go live. Alrighty, time to take a lap through Yahoo. I need to finish updating for that Reds lineup. And we were doing that, and then we kept talking, and then I forgot to keep doing it. But I did get Nick Senzel into my names database, so now he should be able to show up. I can get a little update in here. But we can talk about pitching right now. Oh, your boy's not in the Reds lineup, man. Are you going to be okay tonight?
I might have to take this slate off. No, Eugenio Suarez. What's going on here? Reds, are they tanking already, or what's the deal?
I feel bad for you. I feel like I'm missing a team, but there's no way I'm missing a team. Oh, no, there's 13. That makes sense. I keep forgetting that the Angels are not on this slate today. I'm not used to having 13 on a Friday.
Why are they?
I have no idea.
Are there two teams that don't play?
What?
Are there two teams that don't play?
Angels and Astros are both off of today.
Why?
I have no idea. No idea. It tripped me up this morning. I couldn't figure out where I was missing something because I kept trying to count to 14 and it wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought there were 13 games. I just assumed we were going to have another 2-game early slate, but apparently not.
Well, here we go. Pitching. It's a pretty linear spread of salary. Nobody breaking free at the top. Clayton Kershaw is the most expensive guy today at $52. Glasnow and Sale both at $51. Paxton at $50. I think that we would agree that those are sort of the top 4 guys and the salary makes some sense. Is there a guy that stands out in that group of 4 to you more than anybody else?
Between just the top 4 priced?
Right.
I mean, I would even include
50 and above. But yeah, if you want to include someone else.
Yeah, I mean, I would even include Boyd.
Okay.
Boyd, incredible. And he's got what looks like a pretty good matchup against KC.
For sure.
But yeah, it looks like the pricing is pretty sharp on Yahoo today for the pitching.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of issues with anything. They've been really quick to price up guys like Glasnow and Boyd based on their early season performance. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. But I'm still willing to pay these prices for pretty much everyone outside of maybe Kershaw. Just because he's the most expensive, I think he's going to be pretty chalky. Do we have an ownership for him on Yahoo yet?
Kershaw or Sale?
Mm-hmm. Kershaw. Well, both.
Kershaw. Oh, yeah. So ownership for Yahoo right now. I'm going to give those top 5 guys again. Kershaw, 13. Glasnow, 2.
Oh.
Sale, 59. Paxton, 42. Matt Boyd, 17.
Wow.
A lot of ownership going to Sale and Paxton here.
Okay, maybe I obviously need to change what I just said, because if Kershaw's only going to be 10%, is that what you said? 10? They're 13, then yeah, he's a much more appealing play. Like I like how these guys are bunched up, and if there's going to be a huge ownership discrepancy between a couple of these guys, then yeah, I mean, they're mostly the same guys for me. I don't know about you.
So I have Sale pretty clearly ahead of everyone. I have Paxton on his own tier second. And then I have Boyd, Kershaw, and Glasnow as essentially a three-man group third. But in no way do I think that Chris Sale should be 59% owned and Tyler Glasnow 2, or Paxton 42 to 2.
Yeah.
So Glasnow is the guy that stands out most to me. If he's going unowned, he's the guy that I'd be most interested in the GPP fields. In cash, I'd like to stick to Sale or Paxton. Most likely Paxton, since at the very we don't have any concerns about Paxton from a health perspective or a what's wrong with him perspective. Whereas at least Sale makes it a little squirrely. So I like Paxton in cash if he's going to be owned like that. But 59% Chris Sale at $51 is really aggressive pricing and ownership.
That is pretty crazy. Wow. So I ran a crunch and I did get 90% Sale. Yeah. So it makes sense that I would get a ton of Sale even at that ownership. That's before factoring in ownership. So I'm going to run a bunch more lineups before lock and cut down. So he'll probably get graded out of some of this if he's going to be 60% owned. But yeah, the Glasnow thing really stands out. If he's going to be even under 10%, I think that's a really, really awesome GPP play. So that's where I'll be going quite a bit. I'll definitely be allocating some shares to Glasnow if he's going to be significantly lower owned than some of those other guys.
Yeah, like I have Sale hitting his target like 3 times as often as Glasnow. Paxton a little over 2 times as often, but that is not what corresponds to 59%, 42%, and 2%. Like that's aggressive.
Yeah.
And I don't hate the idea of going to Kershaw. I don't love that he's the most expensive pitcher on the slate, but I mean, for those that aren't aware, everything on Yahoo is a 10 max in terms of GPPs. So it's not as if you're spreading all of this ownership out to 150 lineups. And that's part of the reason why someone like Sale and Paxton can see extremes in ownership. There's not enough spread because there's not enough lineups from individual people. But I don't mind, I wouldn't mind having Clayton Kershaw in 2 of my 10 lineups, and which would put him quote unquote over the field.
Yeah.
But I also don't necessarily need Chris Sale in 6 of them.
Right. So I think once I get closer to lock, it'll probably be Sale in 4 to 5.
Yeah.
And then looking at some of these lineups you can make, you can go Sale and Glasnow and have good stacks. You can stack the Brewers and good parts of the Brewers against Steven Matz if you like that, or stack the Blue Jays in Texas in some of the better hitting weather with Sale and Glasnow. So looking at some of these lineups, you understand why Sale is going to be 60% owned on Yahoo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think I'd rather just differentiate at that one spot. There are concerns with Sale. His velocity was down again last start. So I don't know if you guys talked about that on the strategy show. Did you?
Briefly. We mentioned that it happened, but he's still getting results. Mm-hmm. I watched most of that start because I had obviously had a ton of Sale that day.
Yeah.
He looked good, and people weren't hitting him well. They were kind of just beating him around. I don't believe that he gave up more than I think he gave up 1 extra base hit, and that was it. The rest were all singles. The problem was he was leaving a lot of balls up, and that is what was concerning to me. I was not worried really about the stuff. I think he still got the 8 Ks.
Yep.
But he left a lot of worrisome pitches up in the zone. So something that we need to at least keep an eye on.
For sure. Yeah, so that's the thing. You take the chance that he's just not right once again. And even if he's 90% health or 85% health, he's still going to be able to get strikeouts.
Right.
He showed that last game. So it's just a floor thing, and there is some soft pricing on some hitters. So do you just take the raw points here and just kind of differentiate elsewhere? I think there's merit to that. There's also merit to just differentiating Sale and going to a Glasnow or Kershaw or Paxton in that same price range.
If we work our way down the salary tier, just after Boyd, we've got this Musgrove, Minor, Gaussman group. Gaussman grades out pretty well for me. Shane Bieber grades out pretty well for me. At $31, even in a really terrible matchup, Robbie Ray grades out well for me. Who are some of the value guys that stand out to you after we get out of this high tier?
Well, Ray, if you can stomach Coors Field, and I don't think that that's a huge issue for him. I mean, he's a guy who always gets hit hard when he does get hit anyways. So if you're going to get low ownership on Robbie Ray and a way low price for him, I mean, he's not a $31 pitcher. He's a $40, $45, $50 pitcher on a normal slate. That's where he's not pitching in Coors. So I think the strikeouts are still there. If I remember correctly, his main out pitch is a slider, and that tends to play well in Coors anyways. So I still think the strikeouts could be there for Ray. And that's the guy that's really, really sticking out to me.
Same. He's my fourth pitcher dollar for dollar, which is terrifying because it's really just like everything on this slate does not point to this being a fun spot to go. He's got 11% ownership, so looks like everybody's trying to get, maybe 1 out of your 10. I'd be fine being more aggressive there.
Yeah, I would bet I get to like 2 to 4 out of 10 for Ray once we get to lock.
High risk, but high reward. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Anybody else stand out to you? You Jared Eichhoff guy?
I am. Actually, I do like Eichhoff. He might be a little bit expensive for me at 37.
Agreed.
When you got Ray down there, and he's just like Ray's just got the best stuff below the top guys. Yeah. I think.
You're right. He has the highest target score percentage of everybody below Shane Bieber.
Yeah, I mean he's got to. Anyone below that $43 range, I would agree. But Eichhoff's actually been pretty impressive. The thing I want to see with Eichhoff, and it's not really a deal with Eichhoff, but if Soto is out again, I'd be much more interested in playing Eichhoff.
Same.
It looks like he is a big favorite. He's minus 166 right now. And you take Soto out of that lineup, then you're going up against guys like Kendrick, Matt Adams, who you can still strike out, Dozier, righty, Gomes, righty, pitcher spot. I'm kind of in on that. And while I'm not going to just disregard him if Soto's in, it would be just mentally a nice boost if Soto sits one more day.
Yeah, it will dramatically change the construction of the Nats lineup, and that'll be beneficial to Eichhoff. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about guys $40 and below, and we both mentioned Robbie Ray being interesting to us. He is not the guy that has the most ownership in that range, though.
Who's that?
How do you feel about Brandon Woodruff? $26.
Oh, that is pretty cheap for Woodruff.
I agree there.
Man, I don't know if I'd play him over Ray, though. Like, I got to a little Woodruff.
Just to point out, Ray 11%, Woodruff 14%. I mean, we're talking about what amounts to the same amount of ownership. I didn't want it to seem like Woodruff was getting like 40% or something.
Yeah. Let's see what I've got for Woodruff here.
He's not a guy that I would mind having in a 10 max. I'd be fine with Woodruff. I'd be fine with Trent Thornton. I'd probably be fine with Tyler Anderson if, in very small amounts.
Yeah. What Anderson's priced at? Cheapest pitcher on the slate, $25.
Yep. That's the floor.
I like that as well. So if Anderson is going to be, let's see, he is.
Although the way that you were talking, though, if you can get to like Sale and Glass now together, it makes it really difficult to want to go to Tyler Anderson.
Right. Unless you're going to like Tyler Anderson plus Coors bats, like plus Rockies bats, or something like that. So that's the only issue. Do you need to get down to these guys in any real capacity, or can you just play the top guys and get most of the expensive bats you need?
It will be interesting to see. We will stick around for the end of the video. I'm going to run some crunches based on my projections, and we'll work through a lineup or two and see sort of the construction you can get. Mm-hmm. Favorite sub $49 arm today?
Sub $49.
Below Boyd.
It's probably Ray.
Okay.
Price, ownership, matchup. I think all that combined, it would probably be Ray for me.
I don't disagree. He has the best dollar for dollar rating of anybody below Boyd, so it's certainly a risky spot. I probably wouldn't want to be looking to get to Robbie Ray in a Yahoo Cash game, but I'm fine with it in GPPs.
Yeah, I think in cash, the answer would just be take Sale, take your second favorite pitcher, whether it's Paxton or Kershaw or Glass now, or Boyd if you want to throw him in there. And you can fill in the bats around him. There's going to be a bunch of value bats that pop up.
I'm going to sneeze, by the way, so I'm going to mute my microphone. Actually, I think I might have talked myself out of it by saying it out loud. Yeah, I talked it right out of me. I'd be more likely to go to Paxton in cash just because Sale has me a little shook. But Sale grades out as my best pitching option of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really think there's a wrong answer up top.
No. I'd be fine with everybody. I mean, I probably wouldn't go to Glass now since he's not owned. But I wouldn't have a problem with him. He grades out like he should be owned, at least. Yeah. All right, so that's a quick look at pitching. Let's head to catchers now. I like a lot of the catchers at the top. A lot of the extreme value coming in the single digits in price. Of the ownership of guys that are priced up, Yasmani Grandal at 15%, JT Realmuto at 12%, Buster Posey 11%. Those are the three highest guys of the high salary. Wilson Ramos at 19%, Tucker Barnhart 14%, Danny Jansen 13%. Those are the 6 guys that are in double digits in ownership. Who stands out at the top of the heap for you? Who would be who would get the A points grade for Jake today?
Probably I'm looking at Grandal. I really like Grandal against Mats because I do like the Brewers against him. Looking at some of these other guys up top, probably not a bunch of like Buster Posey. I always like Tyler Flowers if he does indeed start. It looks like there's a question of whether or not he's going to. And then, I think he does start for Galvin, if I'm remembering correctly.
Generally.
Real Muto, I just think is one of the best catcher hitters, maybe the best in the MLB. So I'm always fine going there, especially if you're going to the Phillies against Hellickson. So those would probably be my top 2 guys that are priced up, $17, $18 for Grandal and Real Muto.
Yeah, but Real Muto and Grandal both grade out well. I'd have no problem using them as a cash catcher. Just they're good hitters, independent of being catchers. Mike Zunino is my favorite catcher play that I would pay up for. It hits a little bit further down in the order than I would like, but not projected to get any ownership and just has massive power. That's the kind of thing you'll need if you're looking for a GPP win.
And Straley has home run problems.
Very true. Straley has problems.
Yes, he's just not a good pitcher anymore. He's not even missing bats anymore.
No.
So, he was a guy that I was okay playing when he was 6K, and he had a 10-plus swinging strike percentage, but he's not even doing that this year. He's just getting pounded.
I think he's washed.
Yeah, very good chance. And it's just the worst park. You and Adam were talking about it this morning. Yeah. Just the worst park he could pitch in, or one of.
I mentioned Wilson Ramos being the chalkiest play. He is also my best dollar for dollar play at $9. So I can't disagree with it. I would use Ramos in tournaments. I would have no problem using him as my cash catcher. That's a direction I'd be fine with going. Then Danny Jansen is the second best option for me in single digit salaries. Also getting a little bit of ownership, but at just $7, it's a spot I'm willing to take a chance. Jansen has a little bit of pop. That's probably the extent of what I would want here. 14% ownership going to Tucker Barnhart right now, I very much disagree with. Grades out as my second worst catcher on a dollar for dollar basis. So I'd be happy skipping that one.
I don't know if I love him at that ownership. Another guy I was looking at was, I just like taking lefties against Bieber because he just gives up so much hard contact.
Yeah.
So Narvaez, what do you think about that? If he's batting 6th or 7th?
Grades out really poorly for me relative to salary. I would just, if I'm going to spend 14, I'd rather just spend 15 for Zunino. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. He's just getting no ownership, possible leverage play. It might be a guy that I get to as a one-off. I actually have some interest in stacking Seattle tonight. So
I'd be more likely to get him as part of the Seattle stack.
Sure. Makes sense.
Alrighty, heading to first base now. Highest owned guys coming in relatively low. Only 3 guys in double digits. Joey Votto at 17% ownership. Matt Adams at 19% ownership. And Jesus Aguilar at 26% ownership. I agree with all 3 of those things. Votto, $14. Grades out fantastic for me. Matt Adams at $10 is my number one dollar for dollar first baseman. Jesus Aguilar also at $10. one of my top 5 value first baseman. So I can't disagree whatsoever with the ownership, but I see a ton of bats here that stand out. I don't mind paying up for Peter Alonso, Rhys Hoskins. Ji-Man Choi is $18. I think that's appealing. If you want to get away from the chalk that is at like the $10 range, that Adams Aguilar area, Kendry Morales is only $7. He's my second best dollar for dollar first base option. Even Brandon Dixon or Chris Davis, I don't mind getting those guys when they're only $7. So talk to me about first. What stands out most to you?
Well, you forgot to mention the real GOAT, Max Muncy, at just $11, lefty. No fear there.
I didn't forget.
But no, I think I will probably play a Muncy share or two. It's hard to argue with those guys you mentioned as the chalky options, Aguilar and Matt Adams as kind of just the top raw values. I mean, they're half as much as some of these guys up top, and they're going to have close to a similar projection. And then who's the guy? Vogelbach again against Bieber. He's just a guy who's a home run hunter. Yep. If you see him as a one-off, that might not be a terrible guy to go to. I believe let me see where he's at versus righties. He has a 225 WRC plus against righties this season. That's 4th in the MLB.
He's a monster human being.
Yeah. So that might be a guy that you get to if you want to go Narvaez, Vogelbach mini in a 5-2-1 or something like that. Might be something to consider. And then there was someone I was just looking at, and then I started talking about Muncy, and I just got so distracted. Choi, it was the other one you mentioned against Straley. So a lot of Tampa guys I'm sure we're going to talk about, but yeah, I absolutely love Choi, assuming he's in the lineup versus Straley.
Yeah, Choi grading out really well for me. He's actually third per dollar of first baseman, which is interesting to see at $18. It's just a testament to how good the matchup looks.
Yeah.
But only 9% ownership. That's a guy that I would like to have more than that in tournaments. Same sort of scenario for Justin Smoak. I think he grades out pretty well and is projected to essentially be unowned.
We should probably mention Freddie Freeman versus a righty in Urena that has real issues versus lefties as well.
Yeah, he's someone that I think that I would get to more in a full Brave stack than I would as a one-off. Man, like the salary structure of Yahoo is just so completely different. Being able to get guys like Matt Adams and Jesus Aguilar at next to no salary is it just makes it so hard to want to pay up. Like I have Freddie. Like, I don't think that the difference in projection between Matt Adams and Freddie Freeman is all that massive, but $9 out of 200 is huge.
Yep, I can't disagree with that at all.
Anything else here? I mean, ownership, if you're playing cash for Yahoo, you're likely to want to be on someone in the Votto, Matt Adams, Aguilar range. I think Votto would feel probably safest for me. Adams and Aguilar is going to be more of a little bit of a home run hunt where I'm pretty confident that Joey Votto will walk twice.
Right. Yeah. Just the classic cash guy, especially at $14.
Yeah. Not hard to pay that salary off.
Yeah.
All right. Second base ownership is going to 3 people, but I really even shouldn't say it like that. It's going to 1. Rougned Odor, $8, 41% ownership. Yeah, there's that. Other 2 guys in double digits. Wilmer Flores at 17. Brandon Lau, the second most expensive second baseman, but he is at 10%. Totally agree with the Lau ownership. I think it should be higher. Don't have an issue with Wilmer Flores either. It should come as no shock. Rougned Odor grades out as my best second baseman option. I understand why the ownership is there, but 41% is pretty healthy.
Yeah. I mean, anytime there's a hitter on a 13-game slate that's going to be 40% out, I think long-term, it's a good strategy to fade the guy.
Yeah.
He's just going to get graded out of the lineups that I make. I can already tell. There's a bunch of other good options. You mentioned Brandon Lau. And Chavis up to $25. Whoa.
Yeah, that you can safely avoid that one unless you're in a Red Sox stack. Do not one off Michael Chavis.
That's kind of wild. I like Cano a good amount.
Yeah.
Some of these other guys you can look at.
I've got 2 pay down options. What do you think of Solarte or Joe Panic? Those are the 2 guys that grade out best on a dollar for dollar basis. Both minimum salary second base options.
Panic? Are you sure against the GOAT, Sonny Gray?
I am very sure. If he's leading off, absolutely.
Yeah. Those guys are both fine, depending on where they're batting. Looks like Solarte is projected to be in the 8 hole. Is that right?
I had him second earlier today, so I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Yeah, the caveat for me here is that Panic and Solarte continue to hit 1 and 2 like I have them here. If they're not hitting at the top of the order, what I'm saying isn't true.
Yep. I mean, if you're just looking for like pivots, those guys are fine just from an ownership standpoint. Dietrich, also, he's a guy that's grading out okay for me if he is in the lineup. He's confirmed.
Sure.
Reds got it out early, so that's a guy I also don't mind against Tyler Beatty.
Thomas Tyner says one-off Merrifield. He's grading out relatively average to me. He is one of the people that have double-digit chances of reaching their target score, so I can't be mad there. I just can't justify taking anyone over Brandon Lau if he's not owned. And Brandon at 10%, Brandon Lau should be in more than one lineup. I mean, Brandon Lau should probably be owned just as much as Rougned Odor. It just so happens he's $22.
Yeah. There was one more thing. Boyd is he's just really good this year. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I mean, and the second half of last year. So I don't know. Maybe you don't need to get up to Merrifield all that much, but he's not really getting a ton of ownership. So
no,
he's a guy I love against lefties in general. I'm just, as weird as it sounds, just worried about Boyd.
At least someone is. That's probably covering everything for second base. Oops, didn't mean to just open up Rougned Odor and only Rougned Odor. That was weird. All right, heading to third base now. In terms of ownership, only 3 guys in double digits. Vlad Guerrero Jr. at $10 is the leader in the clubhouse, 21%. Jose Ramirez is at 18%. He is $13. And Nolan Arenado, 14%, $21. The 3 guys that I named are 3 of my top 4 dollar for dollar hitters. So I'm in no position to disagree. I'd like all 3 of those guys in cash games if they fit. Vlad Guerrero is the guy that grades out the best of those 3. How do you feel about the chalk at third base today?
Yeah, Guerrero was the first guy I was going to mention probably, even though Minor, sneaky, not even sneaky anymore. I mean, he's coming off the 13 strikeout game. Minor is a guy that I respect. Even in Texas, I still think Guerrero's too cheap at $10. And then Arenado and Coors versus a lefty, even though it's Ray, even though it's a guy that has a lot of swing and miss. Arenado versus a lefty and Coors is always in play. So he should get ownership. I agree with that. Going down here, man, there's not a ton that I love below those 2 guys. Candelario, if he is up in the lineup, at $10 is another guy I like.
Grades out really well for me.
Is he getting ownership?
No, 5%.
Yeah, I like that then.
Same.
Let's see. Justin Turner against Eric Lauer. Hard not to like that for me.
Sure.
I'm a Dodgers homer, even though I don't like the Dodgers. They always pop for me. And Turner's a guy who, versus righties or lefties, and especially lefties who give up power, like Eric Lauer, I will pay $14 for Turner any day.
Neither of us have talked yet about the guy that is second, dollar for dollar for me. Can't believe it, but that's what happens when people can be priced at $7. Todd Frazier.
Whoa.
Is my second best dollar for dollar option on Yahoo third base. So if you need to spend down at third base, that would be the direction I'd be going. But honestly, what I'd really be doing is trying to find $3 extra and playing Vlad Guerrero.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because they're not comparable.
Ooh, another guy we haven't talked about is at $8, Jung Ho Kang.
Yeah, he grades out positively.
Jung Ho Gong?
Gong, yeah.
Yeah.
That K is a G, evidently.
That's right.
He grades out as a reasonable play. I would have no problem getting to him. He would be fine as part of a stack. I don't assume that I would get to him in any one-off scenarios. He would be a little bit too far down the list. But he's completely capable. He's got like a green hue next to his name in the column that I have color-coded. Green is positive, so I can't be mad about it. I like the call. And if he can get himself higher up in the order, even better.
Yeah, it looks like FC has him at projected at fourth. So if he's batting cleanup against a guy who doesn't miss bats, I'm very much in on that.
Oh yeah, I have him at 5, so he would definitely get a bump up to 4. That's an extra like 0.15 plate appearances.
Yeah.
Take that. The top of third base, Eduardo Escobar, Hunter Dozier, Yandy Diaz, $24, $24, $22. Not gonna be getting to those sorts of salary tiers.
No, you don't really need to.
No.
Like, just take the value if you're playing 10. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, so like Hunter Dozier projected for 14.9. Well, okay, I have these juiced a little bit right now, but I have Vlad Guerrero projected for more points straight up than Hunter Dozier. He's $14 cheaper.
Dozier's been smashing this year.
He has.
227 WRC plus versus righties.
That'll do
which
it.
is crazy. But this isn't the spot for him, I don't think.
No, it is not. Switching to shortstop now, but before we do that, I want to just ask everybody to go ahead, hit that like button. It's very helpful for us. And if you can subscribe to the channel, I think that would be a benefit to you as well. That'll give you alerts as to when we go live. I am giving this little like and subscribe plug right now so that I can slowly get to Fantasy Cruncher, load in my Yahoo projections, and run some crunches so that we have something to look at when I'm done. So I'm going to keep rambling. What in the... Did you just start a car?
No, that was an ad. I was opening the video and liking it from my personal account.
Oh, nice. Man of the people. There you go. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm a company man.
Yeah, I was not sure. I thought somebody just backed up a car into your
your
desk.
I'm upstairs, so that would be pretty tough for them to back in here. But yeah, that's what that was. I don't even know what that ad was for. Well, whatever it was, it's good for us.
Yeah, make sure you click that ad too.
Yeah, click on that. Go buy whatever that was.
All right, projections are in. Settings are set. We'll crunch 250 lineups in the background, and then we'll get back to it. Oh, I want to make sure we get enough combinations to talk about.
No, I like it. What kind of lineup construction?
I did 5-2, just as...
That's my favorite.
Yeah, you could go up to 6.
I think
shout out to Yahoo.
That's also an interesting thing to talk about. I mean, I would think about just stacking more on Yahoo. There's less entries. You need to be less perfect with your lineups.
Yeah.
So just trying to catch one outlier performance and hoping you get decent enough one-offs. I think on a 13-game slate is something I would definitely be trying to do.
Yeah, I would be running 6-2s. I would be running just a 6-man with potentially 3 one-offs. I'd run a bunch of 5-3s, a bunch of 5-2s, a bunch of 5 plain, and then I would sort and start trying to look through it. But I would want to have at least a 5, especially on a bigger slate, at least a 5-man stack, if not a 6-man stack on Yahoo, since you can get to 6.
Yeah, I'm running some 6-2s right now, and it's looking nice.
Yeah, I like to run 5-2 for these examples too, just so that you can get a little bit of variance in like the churn of the one-offs. Because I have all my individual player caps set, so we'll get a nice mix of lineup construction.
Love it.
Alrighty, shortstop, highest owned. We've got 3 guys in double digits, starting at the top of the salary tier, $24. Most popular shortstop, Trevor Story. No disagreements here. He grades out as my second best option. Francisco Lindor is number 1 for me. He is second in ownership at 20%, but first in my heart. $17 too, $7 cheaper than Trevor Story. And then if you're looking to pay down, 16% expected ownership, Corey Seager at $11. He is my 3rd ranked shortstop, so of my rankings, they've hit the top 3 guys in ownership. How do you feel about those 3? I assume you don't have any problems with Story, Lindor, or Corey Seager.
Not at all. Those are the guys I have highlighted.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a lot of exposure to. Story, same thing for Arenado. Maybe not as complete as a hitter, but lefty against lefty and Coors, those are literally the 2 bats I would want against Ray in my non-Ray lineups. Seager just underpriced, and he hits lefties very, very well for a left-handed hitter. And Lauer I don't think he's any good. And then Lindor versus Kikuchi, no issue with that at all. So
yeah.
I think the ownership is pretty sharp there. Some other guys here, man, after that, it's really not great. Crawford is a guy I'm getting to a little bit.
Yeah, again, he's probably the best value option, not named Corey Seager.
Yeah, $7 there for $7 for Crawford. A lot of these guys I kind of want to play are priced up. So maybe like a Bogarts versus Reynaldo Lopez, if that weather holds off.
I like spending another $1 and getting to Mondesi. He grades out as my 4th best dollar for dollar shortstop. Only 3% expected ownership. I'd be fine getting to some Mondesi.
Sure. And then no Tim Anderson versus Chris Sale at $23.
No, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on Tim Anderson tonight as well. Even though maybe he's a bit improved as a hitter, a little bit more power he's showing.
I can't justify taking him when Mondesi's $3 cheaper. Like I have Mondesi twice as good dollar for dollar.
Yeah. There's no reason to play him tonight.
There's not a ton of value here. We've mentioned everybody that grades out well. The only 2 guys that I don't have, or that I would mention, not getting any ownership, but Freddie Galvis and Marcus Semien, $14 a piece for each guy, are what amounts to like guys I'd be okay with having.
If you're looking for leverage off Sale, and that's really the only reason you'd be playing Anderson in like a White Sox stack, I'd rather just play like a James McCann if he's batting cleanup.
Right.
Just hope for a homer.
Yeah. To spend $2,300 or $23 on Anderson against Sale, unless that's coming in a full stack of the White Sox, like I would never one-off him in that scenario.
Agreed.
Alrighty, heading to outfield, big list, but we'll touch on everybody in double digits. Pham and Harper, both in double digits. I agree with both of those options. Andrew McCutchen, 10% ownership, grades out well for me. Randall Grichuk at 14. Nomar Mazara at 12% is one I don't feel fondly of. 2 guys getting a ton of ownership. Yasiel Puig at 29%. I like it. Ryan Braun, 35%. I like it. And then finally, Starling Marte at $10, 17% expected. Nick Williams, $8, 17% expected ownership. Only guy that I don't agree with there is Mazara. How do you feel about the guys I mentioned? I know I just rattled off a crap ton of names.
Yeah, Mazara and Nick Williams, I'm not sure I'm in love with those guys. So I'd like to pay up for some of these outfield options like Harper.
Yes.
Tommy Pham at $23.
Yeah.
So
Mookie Betts at 24, unowned.
Bellinger, even lefty for 27. He's just unconscious right now.
Yeah.
And he also hits lefties for a lot of power. JD Martinez at $20,
9% ownership.
Yeah, sign me up for that every day.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Braun. He's one that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Braun versus Steven Matz at $11. And it's hard for him not to pop in any projection model. So
yeah, $11. He's the chalk play, the cash play as well. So
yeah, just one of the best hitters versus lefties like of the past 20 years. Like that good versus left-handed pitching for his career. Puig, I'm not getting quite to 29%, but I will have some Puig. I got him at about 14% in my crunch here. And other guys that I'm getting exposure to, Starlin Marte at $10. And way down here. I actually did get to some Williams, but Chris Taylor for the Dodgers versus Lauer again. So I'm kind of picking on Lauer.
Yeah, no issue there. Guys that I like that aren't really owned. Will Myers, $9. not really getting any ownership. If he's leading off, I have some interest. Who else shows up in green, not getting ownership? Benintendi, Adam Jones, Nelson Cruz. These are all guys that are just not getting any love from an ownership perspective that are very viable to me.
Nelson Cruz, I know it's Paxton, but you talk about a guy who crushes lefties the past few years. Man, Cruz and getting leverage off a really chalky player in Paxton, that might not be a bad way to go.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so I'm in on that for like one-offs. $17. Yeah, I really like that.
You can't beat it. I mean, it's set up perfectly, and no one's going to own him. So That's the kind of thing I'm looking for in a GPP.
Love it.
Well, that's the lap through all of the positions. We've hit on pitchers as well, so let's take a couple ganders at some stacks. I'll grab my Yahoo crunches here. We've got 250 lineups set up now. The floor is yours, Jake. Give me 2 pitchers to look at.
Well, let's try the chalk. Let's do Sale Paxton. I think we're really gonna understand what the ownership is about on these guys once you look at these crunches.
So I got 21 of my 250 had Sale Paxton combos, which is staggering to think about. First one up is a 5-man Blue Jays stack: Jansen, Smoak, Guerrero, Galvis, Teoscar. I don't have any issue whatsoever with that stack, particularly in Texas today. Puig and Derek Dietrich are a 2-man red stack with what might not happen but is easily fixable one-off Juan Soto.
Wow. That's pretty nice.
Is there a team that you would want to try to get with Sale and Paxton as your primary?
The Dodgers prices are super, super cheap.
Well, they are the second lineup here. Austin Barnes, Max Muncy, which I would try to switch out of, Kike Hernandez, Justin Turner, Corey Seager. You get Nick Williams and Andrew McCutchen as a 2-man Phillies stack with a one-off Ian Desmond.
Not bad. Ian Desmond, interesting. Against Ray? Yeah.
$12. So, you could easily swap him out to Puig if you wanted to, Ryan Braun at 11, Starling Marte at 10. Plenty of options if you wanted to go with a different one-off.
I like that.
Are there any other Dodger stacks that came up here with this group? There are not. That's the only Dodgers 5-man that I got.
Okay.
I did get an Indians 5-man: Perez, Ramirez, Lindor, Martin, Luplow with Mazzara, Odor, and Daniel Murphy. But I think I like that first one the most, the Blue Jays stack.
Yeah. If you like picking on minor, that's not a bad way to go. They're just really, really cheap. 1 through 7, really. Teoscar, I think you cut it off. Well, Jansen, even 8. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at a bit different construction. Let's pay down for a pitcher. So let's find Robbie Ray plus whatever. Anything that has Robbie Ray in it, I think will be interesting to see how the rest of it goes. So I have 30 lineups with Robbie Ray. If I sort those by projection, we got another Blue Jays stack at the top. But if we want to get a little bit more different, you can do Robbie Ray plus Kyle Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-man Rays stack. Zunino, Lau, Lowe, Adames, Pham. You get Grichuk and Vlad Guerrero with a one-off Benintendi and $2 to spare. I don't mind that at all.
Who was the one before Benintendi, you said?
Benintendi was a one-off, and it was a 2-man Vlad Guerrero Grichuk stack.
Ooh. And your main stack is the Rays.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So the pitchers were Ray and
Kyle Gibson in this spot, but we can find another Ray plus stud. Okay, I think you'll like this one quite a bit. This is Robbie Ray and James Paxton.
Okay.
I like that combination. We get a 5-man Dodger stack: Barnes, Muncy, Kike, Turner, Seager. You get a 2-man Philly stack of Harper and McCutchen, one-off Benintendi.
Harper, McCutchen, one-off Benintendi?
Yeah.
That's
you can
amazing.
turn that one-off Benintendi into a lot of different things if you want to.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good looking lineup.
I think that might be the only Dodgers one I have. Yeah. I get Kike and Seager as a 2-man pairing in another lineup. But that's a really nice 5-man. You can get to a lot of really nice things by paying down just slightly for pitching.
I mean, the lineups look great regardless, but if you like the hitters you're just stacked everywhere. If you can forego, one of the top 5 arms, just drop down to the 30, 35, even like $40 price range, and you're probably going to like your lineups even more.
Highest projected lineup is James Paxton, Brandon Woodruff. 5-man Reds stack.
Yeah.
Barnhart, Votto, Dietrich, Senzel, Puig, Arenado, Story, JD Martinez.
Wow.
And you have $1 to spare.
And that's nice too if Ray's ownership comes up, because then you're getting leverage with the 2 best hitters, the 2 best plays against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, wow. You really do not have to spend a lot of money to do what you want to do today.
Oh, you don't.
Oh, man. Eric Lauer and Jose Urena combo, but you get all of the quality Phillies, Odor, Arenado, and Story.
So you could probably do a couple of those, just go, hope Coors goes off, or hope people aren't on the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Something like that, and just stack up your bats in a crazy way.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get to all of the bats you could possibly want today.
Yeah.
No matter who you want at pitching. It's weird. It's really weird. That's fun, though. I love being able to get the bats I want.
Yeah, that always feels good. Rather than pitchers, I mean, I'll feel a little bit uncomfortable in the pitchers in general, rather than playing Jeff Mathis, who I'm looking at right now, or someone gross like that.
All right, so what would be the good combination of people that aren't being owned? So if we wanted to get away from Sale and Paxton, who are the 2 guys we would try to go to?
So trying to get away from Sale. So Glass now,
yeah,
I think.
You
go Glass now. You can go Glass now Ray. You can go Glass now Woodruff. I mean, that he's not unowned, but Anderson, I think, is a way better pitcher than $25. Tyler Anderson, that is.
You can go Sale Glass now, which shouldn't be shocking. You can get to the 5-man Dodgers with Votto, Senzel, and Ian Desmond.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, I'm a fan here. I mean, and you don't by taking Tyler Glass now once, you're taking him more than most.
Yep.
Going completely unowned, so he's a very solid GPP play, in my opinion.
And you can be chalky with the rest of your lineup too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That one different spot.
I think that probably does it. Is there anything else you want to touch on, or anything you think we're missing here?
No, I think you shouldn't be building lineups tonight on Yahoo that you don't like. You should love a lot of what you're building. The pricing set up in a way that you shouldn't have a lot of problems.
No. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. I like the 6-man stack wrinkle as well. So
it changes it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing, is a lot of 6-man stacks.
Okay. Yeah, I would be mixing through all of them, but they would certainly be a big part of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But one last time, I'm going to drop the link in chat. If you're looking to sign up at Yahoo, please follow the link that I'm providing. It is very beneficial to us if you go to Yahoo and sign up through that link. That allows Yahoo to understand that people are coming from us, and it will only help us succeed. Won't affect your experience at all. Use the promo code AWESOMO when you do that. You can get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points, them YSRPs. But the link is there. Hit the like button, subscribe on your way out the door. Jake, are you doing a hockey show?
I'm not today, because we have live before lock. So
okay. So
unless I impromptu do it.
How many games today? 1 or 2?
There's only 2.
Oh, okay. 2-game NBA slate as well. Deep Dive should be out shortly if it's not out already from Laffy. Deeper Dive will be starting at 4:45. Laffy and Adam going to have 13 games to get through, so they're going to need every second. And Jake and I are going to redo it again, coming back to you guys live before lock from 6 to 7. We'll be hitting on all the sites, touching on all the news, checking out weather, all the good stuff. And then right at 7 o'clock, you'll get Fast Eddie Fear talking 2-game NBA. He's been off the past 2 nights for those single games, so come and get your Fast Eddie takes, guys. Show us what you want. But he will be there at 7. Jake, anything else?
Like and subscribe, and you'll see when me and Josh go live once again. Or better yet, watch the deeper dive in a matter of a couple hours here.
Yeah. You won't find a better 2 hours worth of content, I promise.
Free content.
That too. All right. Best of luck, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you again next Friday.